to Fortune's Keep. We're taking you through a new map.
We have our first look at Fortune's Keep, which is a new map coming to Warzone next week. In this video, I'm going to tell you everything that I've spotted in this trailer so far. I haven't been able to spot any like really cool secrets. I haven't seen any bunker doors or anything like that. But there's a couple of little things that look a tiny bit mysterious. And we get a really good look at how this map will play, I think. Like, we get a really good sense of other things that it might be similar to. So let's go through it a little bit like frame by frame and analyze it. So the first look is over town, and we can see tons of rooftops. Looks like, again, with all of this map, loads of verticality. So you can see all of these different rooftops. Looks like they'll be accessible. There's like ladders climbing up to them, and obviously you'll be able to drop onto them. This looks like something that we haven't really had in Rebirth. Like, there's no area that's quite as dense as this with all of the windows. I'll be intrigued to see how many of these buildings we can actually go inside, like how many of the floors we can go inside. Like, is it going to be like Capital, where nearly every building it feels like you can go inside? It does seem like a lot of these windows are shut up, so maybe not. You've got this big clock tower as well. Obviously going to be the place for snipers. They'll have a decent view of all of the rooftops around here, and even a little bit into Keep by the looks of it. And well, they keep showing off these vehicles. I think they're just going with like the whole gold theme. I'm pretty sure these are from a Modern Warfare bundle. I think I own these vehicles, but it's from a long time ago. Then we've got a look at this building. I'm not sure if this is a part of the Keep or not. One thing that's interesting, I was saying before, I think it'll all be the same assets and models as Caldera, because the map looked like it was the same color scheme. I don't think it is. I think a lot of these are new buildings, new textures, new models for buildings, which is really interesting. It does mean that I think it's less likely Rebirth is going to stick around, because I can't imagine they're going to be willing to sort of make the file size go too much bigger than it already is.
We're taking you through a new map.
So here's another view. This is kind of looking from Keep out. For some reason, there's a weird level of detail issue here. We can see all of those buildings are super low resolution, like really, really low detail. And whatever's going on over there is just a horrific mess. But here you can see into the courtyard of Keep. Looks a little bit like prison. You know, you've got like the staircases all over the walls, and then the big doors in the middle. Then the little courtyard area there. There's also this cool church type building with loads of stained glass windows there. I'm not sure if they're going to be something that you can like shoot out and go through. I'm guessing that wouldn't work with stained glass windows because those are bits of metal in between. Not really sure.
The Keep.
Then that's the front of the Keep. Interesting that you've got one side split to red and one side split to blue. I'm always got my like Easter egg hat on and thinking like, does this mean something? Does it mean like we're going to be doing something and it's going to matter whether it's on the blue side or red side? But it's probably just there to help you kind of orient yourself while you're playing the map, and you know, you can do call outs like, oh, they're going in the red side, they're going in the blue side. I assume that that's what it's about. I'm not sure. The building itself does look pretty huge. Again, I'm not sure how many of these floors you're going to be able to go into or anything like that. Like, a lot of these windows don't look real. But it looks like a really impressive building. And you've got these massive walls. So it reminds me a little bit of Rebirth, like how it is now. You know, going down from prison to the coast, you've got all of these multi-level walls.
It's where the magic.
Then you can see inside Keep here. I said the other day it reminds me of Asylum. Obviously, this is much bigger than Asylum. Lots and lots of balconies. I think this is a new statue. I haven't seen that before. All of these little details I think are just meant to be like, you know, as if it's cribs or something and it's listing the things. 12 rooms does not sound particularly impressive, but 10 staircases. How many buildings have you been in where there's nearly as many staircases as there are rooms? That's super weird. And then twice as many cannons as there are staircases, apparently.
Right, nice.
Then you can see into one of, like, I'm guessing one of the interior rooms. I'm thinking if there's going to be an Easter egg on this map, it's going to be either inside Keep or maybe in Smuggler's Cove. Like, those would be the sensible places to put it. Like, part of me's hoping it's going to be really elaborate and we're going to have things like bookcases opening up, or maybe you'll climb through the fireplace or something like that. Like, something really cool and escape roomy. But, you know, that's probably me getting a little bit carried away.
That place. The wine.
Then you've got the winery. If I just rewind a little bit there, we get a nice view of the multi-layered bit. So you can see here, there's like obviously vineyards and then a couple of buildings on there. This bit worries me a little bit that there's no cover down here. So if like someone's behind you and you're climbing up here, you're going to be stuck. There's like, what, a cart there and a couple of barrels. I'm not even sure if they're going to stop bullets. This is going to be a horrible area, I think. Like a really, really terrible idea to find yourself in there. And then you can see all the different buildings here. These look a bit more standard. Again, quite big buildings, and you can actually see through a lot of the windows here. So all of this is sort of playable space, I'm guessing. Then they go into the wine cellar, and you can see this is, again, is quite a big space. There's some sort of laptop on the right there, which is kind of interesting. Maybe it's going to be one of those annoying laptops where it says enter password, then just goes beep beep and gives us an error code. and we're all going to agonize over it. Or maybe it's like a recon thing. I don't know.
Because bottle service.
I'm hoping that there's going to be some sort of like extra little secrets in all of these underground bits. So if anyone spots anything, please let me know in the comments.
Compared to...
There's this bit where it talks about there being like 6 big wine vats in here. And then there's an interesting bit that looks like a hidden tunnel. So that was really quick, almost like blink and you'll miss it stuff. But there's this tunnel. Now, I think this is probably going to join the bottom of the winery, the wine cellar, to Smuggler's Cove. It's going to be like a way into there, like an extra little route. That'll be really interesting to have like hidden little passages that maybe some people don't really know about. Like if people are trying to hold up in Smuggler's Cove, maybe there'll be another way to get in there. Or if people are holding up in Winery. Or it could be some extra secret thing. There's a bunker down there. Who knows? But kind of interesting. This is just in the trailer for like a split second. Then we get another look at town. Lots of colourful buildings. You can see lots and lots of like walkways and things like that on here.
The rest of you are just...
This is the library, I'm guessing. It lists a few places: the Clock Tower, Library, Blackbird Hotel, Gelato Stand. Again, ripe for Easter eggs. Imagine if there's some sort of like a certain order of books you have to interact with or something like that. This is definitely going to be one of the places I look into when this goes live. I will, of course, be streaming as soon as this goes live, so make sure you follow, turn your notifications on, subscribe, all of that stuff. I'll be streaming it here on YouTube as soon as it goes live to explore and look for Easter eggs and all of that good stuff. Then we've got Smuggler's Cove. Like I was saying in the video the other day, I was expecting this. It looks like it's just super shallow water, so you can like run around all these bits. The islands don't look particularly interesting. They're really, really small and just have a few little shacks on them. So I can't imagine there's going to be much hidden down here.
Finally,
But this area looks super interesting. So there's loads of different levels on this. If you imagine there could be people up on the rocks there. So you've got like 1 layer, 2 layers, 3 layers, 4 layers, 5 layers, 6 layers, 7 layers, something down there. You've got lots and lots of different layers in this area, all kind of interacting with each other. That kind of verticality is something that you only get in like a few locations around Caldera. And even in Rebirth, you often have like, you know, 3 or 4 different levels looking in, but nothing quite like this. So this is going to be really interesting to see how this plays out. Like you can imagine some crazy firefights going on between different teams, all on different layers up here. It's going to be really cool. I like the look of this place a lot. Then you've got the sort of interior bit of it. Again, can't see any bunker doors, but it looks like the sort of place where you could easily imagine there being one. A little shot of the boat for some reason. It just sort of zooms in on this boat. I think that's just a joke, you know, showing off. Look at this fancy boat that's not so fancy. But it doesn't look like you can get into the boats or anything. They look way too small. Then another little shot of Smuggler's Cove. It goes through this tunnel type bit, but there's nothing at the end of it, I've checked. And then we get a nice overview of kind of the whole island at this point. You can see this little hut here is that building that I was tweeting about while saying, what is this thing with the weird stripe on it? You can see it's just a little hut. It's nothing interesting at all. So that's kind of a shame. You can also see this moat going around it, which looks a lot like the one that you have in prison that goes underneath some bridges. I always really like that sort of thing. If you get stuck down in the moat around prison in Verdansk, it was like really, really scary. It's like an intense place to be. So I'm wondering whether this will be this sort of similar type of thing where like you really don't want to end up down there. You can also see like the big weird round building there. I've got no idea what that is or why it's got an open top. I can imagine people being like, it's going to be a missile silo, it's going to open up. But I think it's probably just part of an old-fashioned keep. You've also got some sort of radio building out there, which I didn't really notice before looking at the map. Like, I don't know if that is Overlook or maybe that's Overlook. But that's an interesting thing that you've got a radio building there, a big radio mast. That could be something worth checking out. I'm guessing this is the beginning of Winery, maybe?
show you around. Now get back out there.
Then at the end of the video, we can see the title for Season 4 is Mercenaries of Fortune, and you can see Butcher sitting in this big room that looks like some kind of vault. I'd love to say that I think this is going to be like an Easter egg room, like a bunker that we're going to break into, but you can see there's some open windows at the top, so it wouldn't be that hard to get into here. But whatever happens, I'm going to be playing that limited time mode that starts in Rebirth on Monday. I'll be streaming that live, so make sure you subscribe, turn your notifications on, and of course, as soon as this map goes live, I'll be looking for anything to do with an Easter egg, any hints at all. If you've spotted something awesome in this video, please don't forget to let me know in the comments, and don't forget to leave a like on this video. See you soon.